In this History Illustrated video, we're going to take a look at the vocabulary word triangular trade. Now, quite literally, triangular trade is getting its name from the shape of the trade routes. For example, from America to Europe, from Europe to Africa, and then from Africa to America, and back and forth as well. They're all going the other direction as well. So it creates a triangular shape. But having the shape isn't the main idea. What we're talking mostly about are the things that are being traded. That's the primary focus. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. For example, the things that are in America that Europe wants are what we call raw materials. Now, quite literally, they're raw, meaning that they're unfinished. They're not turned into anything yet. So, for example, lumber or wood. There's a lot of trees in America. They can use those to turn into furniture, for example, or cotton. We could take cotton and we could turn that into clothes. So America would send these things to Europe, and in exchange, Europe would turn cotton, for example, into shirts or other types of clothing, and lumber they could turn into furniture or other types of things that people in America would want, and Europe would take those and send them back over and sell them to them. We call these things manufactured goods. So manufactured goods are being created in Europe. America has all the raw materials they need to create the manufactured goods. But there is the story of Africa involved in this. So Africa would want some of these things as well. So they would be sending things like guns or clothing or beer, anything that they couldn't produce themselves in Africa. In exchange, Africa would send them things like gold or iron, which are some more raw materials that aren't turned into anything yet. And then to complete the third leg of the triangle, Africa was going to send work. They needed to get a lot of workers to the Americas to get these raw materials. And the workers were going to be primarily slaves from Africa. So slave labor. They wanted to make sure they can get something for free out of the deal to keep the cost of getting the raw materials down. They didn't want to pay too much, so they wanted to pay very little or nothing at all. So they used slaves. They would send them to Africa, and America would actually send some things back to Africa too, like rum or other types of alcohol that they could get more slaves for. So the idea of triangular trade is that it is shaped like a triangle, but the major takeaway that you need to know is that raw materials are being sent to Europe. Europe is sending manufactured goods to African America, and slaves, this part here is pretty major, slaves are being sent to America.